Hello, I'm Pi, like the number, and today I'm going to teach you how to do the most snatched brows that you have ever done in your entire life. Whether you're brand new to drag makeup, an experienced queen that still has muddy brows, or just somebody that wants to learn a couple techniques that are very transferable to your everyday eyebrow look, this tutorial is for you. If you're new to my channel, hello, I'm Pi. I am from Philadelphia and I do drag makeup tutorials here on theyoutube.com, and I live, laugh, love, wacky drag, and all things weird and creative. So if that's something that you also love, hit subscribe because we are gonna get along great. But enough about me. Let's go ahead and get started with this tutorial so that way you can learn how to do the perfect eyebrow. So I'll be the first to admit, brows suck, and brows are really hard. But I'm gonna break it down into 3 easy steps for you so that way it makes sense and you understand what you're doing to get that perfect snatched brow. Step 1 is to map the brow. The mapping stage of the eyebrow is arguably the most important because it decides where your eyebrow is gonna be, the general shape of your eyebrow, and therefore the rest of your face shape. So it's kind of important. So obviously I don't have eyebrows, and that's because I wanna make sure that I have a perfectly clean, smooth canvas when I'm doing drag makeup, so I committed and just shaved them off. Now, if you're somebody that does have your entire eyebrow, or maybe you even shaved half of your eyebrow off, you can follow these same steps. They're gonna be just as useful for you. You just are a little bit more limited with the general shape because you already have something telling you where to go. But if you're somebody that does have eyebrows and you want a totally new brow shape, be sure to glue your eyebrows down using some Elmer's glue stick. Now, I unfortunately can't give you a tutorial on that right now because I don't have any, but if you want me to do a tutorial on that for you, let me know in the comments down below and I'll find somebody to let me glue their eyebrows down because I used to be very good at it back in the day, but I haven't had eyebrows for like a year. So I'm gonna go ahead and put most of my base on and I'll be right back. And we are back with a nice wet face. This is not set. I did not put any powders on my face yet. And that's the exact stage that you need to be at right now. We are not worrying about any sort of fine details right here. We just want to figure out where the heck is this eyebrow gonna go. Now, the big secret to a perfect eyebrow is that you don't go in with the eyebrow product first. Instinctively, you might pick up a pomade or maybe a brown cream or whatever brow color you're gonna be using, and you might just wanna go in and immediately draw over where the eyebrow's gonna go. Stop, don't you dare. Put your brush down. You can't just go ahead and willy-nilly just start putting a brow down. It's just like putting your contour on. As soon as you put that dark color on your face, it's way more difficult to take off if you mess up the shape, which, let's face it, if you're watching this video, you probably messed up the shape before. To keep your face as consistent as possible with products, you want to use the same product that you used for your highlights or concealer. So I'm gonna be going in with the white Morphe concealer to map out underneath of where I want the eyebrow to be, and also filling in my entire lid, which will later make eyeshadow colors pop. Using a concealer brush with that highlight cream, go ahead and map out where you want your eyebrow to go. Once you have your eyebrow shape done, you want to go ahead and blend out using whatever sponge you were using for your highlight, because we are working with a wet product and we don't want it to dry in that weird patchy, blindy, blah blah blah. Oh, look at that. You can already see exactly where the eyebrow is going to go, and you didn't have to worry about messing up the shape, because if you do, you're working with a light color. You can just put your base color right back on top and clean it up. So go ahead and repeat the exact same process on the other eye. I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera. And just like that, we have a set of invisible eyebrows. You didn't have to worry about accidentally putting your eyebrow on and then going, oh no, I don't like where that went, and then having to worry about putting your base on over top to erase it and blah, 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 blah. All that's gone. You just have a nice map of where you can go ahead and put your eyebrows. So let's go ahead and do that. Using some sort of angled brush, I'm using an angled paintbrush, we're gonna go ahead and dip into your contour shade or something similar. This step can be a big game changer because it's already on your face. So when you go in and apply all of the other details on top of the eyebrow, it'll already have a natural looking shadow underneath of it because that's the color you picked as the shadow for your face. I used the Juvia's Place Shade Stick for my contour, but it is a little bit more slippy than I want it to be for this brow section. So I'm gonna be going in with one of my Kryolan TV paint sticks in NG2. Once you have the product loaded on your brush, you wanna start on your bad side because if you mess up, it's easier to replicate on your good side. Starting about 2/3 of the way out, usually around where the eyebrow starts to bend, you're gonna be going inwards towards the center of your forehead. We're gonna go ahead and do this exact same step on the other side. Now, I know some people like to do one full eyebrow and then the other eyebrow, and one, how? And two, don't do that. The best way to get a perfectly symmetrical set of eyebrows is to do each step on each side of the face as you're going along, instead of just doing one full eyebrow and then the other one. So go ahead and do this same line on the other side. For our next step, we're going to start at the curve of the brow and we're going to be going outwards towards the tip, following the concealer line that we created before. And just like that, you have the bottom of your eyebrow. Now, at this exact stage of your eyebrows, don't worry about the lines being too perfect. Of course, you want to try to get them as clean as possible right off the bat. If you are looking at your eyebrow and going, oh my gosh, that is so messy, it is not a clean line at all, that's fine because we're going to be going in later to clean it up with your concealer again, and that is another little secret. Next, we're gonna go ahead and create the top line of the outer tail. This step determines the thickness of your brows, so go ahead and start a little bit more up and slightly more inward. The next line we're creating is from the top of the arch inwards, and again, just like the bottom one, we don't want it to have too harsh of a stop, and we don't want to stop it too far in because it's gonna make it more difficult to blend later. Now, after doing this, you can notice that this side has a little bit less of a spike on the top, so I'm gonna go ahead and just add that spike. Voila. To fill in the brow, you're gonna use the same product, same brush, and you're gonna again start in the middle and work your way outwards because that is the part that you know for sure is gonna be the darkest. To fill in the inner section of the brows, we want to make sure that there's not too much product on the brush, so whether you're just using the remainder of what's on your brush right now or whether you have to wipe it off slightly, start to drag this product that we set down and feather it in towards the inner corner. Go ahead and blend out the center of the eyebrow using the same beauty sponge that you used for your highlights. Now is when the real magic happens because depending on how steady of a hand you have, your brows might look perfectly crisp and clean, or they might look a little messy and like they need a little bit of love. So that's where the concealer comes in again. Using your concealer on a concealer brush, you're gonna go ahead and chisel out underneath of the eyebrow, and this will help to clean up any messy lines that you previously created. Once you have your brows nice and chiseled out underneath, if you need to go ahead and do the same process using your base shade up here above the brow, repeat the same process. Right now, I'm pretty happy with the way that the tops of my eyebrows look, so I'm gonna go ahead and set my entire face, add some contour and some blush, and I'll meet you back in just a moment. Oh, welcome back. Part of the reason that we do our eyebrows first with the mapping step is that way you know exactly the shape that you can make your eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyes off camera. Once I come back, we're gonna be doing the last step and a half or so of the perfect eyebrow tutorial. And we are back. I have gone ahead and I've applied my eye stuff. For the most part, I'm going to leave a couple of the details until after the eyebrows. To finish up the shaping step of the perfect eyebrow tutorial, we want to go in with some sort of creamy pomade. Personally, I really like a bold black eyebrow, so I'm going to be going in with the Inglot gel liner as well as a detailed brush. Now, you want the brush to be a very fine chisel tip. This brush specifically is the Morphe M158. I highly recommend this brush for this exact set of steps that we're about to be going through. Once you have your pomade on your teeny tiny chisel brush, we're gonna go ahead and basically go through the same steps that we did when we were creating the shape of the brow. If you are a little bit wary about being precise with this step, you can skip this fill-in step and really just add in a couple strokes throughout, and that would perfectly suffice. Because I'm changing the color of my eyebrow to a much darker shade, I do need to go in and remap everything that we've already done originally. Once you have the outline of your brows done, we're going to use a similar technique that we did before, where we start to fill in on the outside and we flick to gently blend it towards the center. Let's go ahead and move on to step 3, which is going to be detailing the brows. Now, this step is hard. I know the entire eyebrow process is pretty difficult, but this step specifically can really make or break an entire eyebrow. To help make sure that this is as precise as possible, I like to wipe off the brush that I was just using and then pinch it flat. That way it is as much of a razor blade as it possibly can be. And this will help to make sure that these little brush strokes are very precise as you're drawing them. So go ahead, take a deep breath and dip into your pomade and add those brush strokes. All right, so yeah, see what I mean about when I was saying if you add one too many, it makes a little patchy. So what I'm gonna do is add just a couple strokes in between here. I think that'll fill it in the way that I need to. These are definitely a little bit more dark than I wanted, but they definitely did create a nice bold and bushy brow. So let's go ahead and see if I can do the same thing on the other side. Oh, and there we have some big, bold, bushy brows. Now, I will be completely honest. These are not the brows that I was really aiming for, but that's part of what doing brows is. You go for something, and if you mess up along the way, you kind of have to just roll with it. You gotta just work with it. You gotta do what you can. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some final details to this look, and I'll be right back to show you everything. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you learned a thing or two about eyebrows, whether this entire technique works for you or even if you just pick up one tiny, teeny little thing. As long as you are taking the steps to continue getting better at your craft, you're gonna be able to keep having more and more fun with it. And once you know how to do the technical stuff, nobody can tell you shit. So if you love this video and don't want to miss when I put out another video, make sure you hit subscribe and like this video. And if there's anything specific that you want me to give you a tutorial on, whether it be lips or nose contour or anything else that you are having trouble with, let me know in the comments down below and I will create a video for whatever it is that you think you need assistance with. I am here to help. I'm gonna go and eat my weight in Domino's. Until next time, bye!